When you retire, you may get a chance to go to football heaven. This is football heaven.
Hello, guys, and welcome to The Mission. I'm your host, Jameer Howardson. And as we continue on our path to Canton, Ohio for Enshrinement 2022, today we get another opportunity to catch up with a member of this year's finalist class. Joining us right here on The Mission is the pride of North Carolina State, a key member of the greatest show on turf, and Super Bowl 34 champion, Mr. Torry. I like to call him All Hands Team Holtz. What's going on, Chief?
Chilling, bro. How are you doing, man? And all hands teams.
All hands team.
No doubt.
I know that's right, man. I know that's right, Torry. Well, Torry, thank you so much for giving us your time. Happy New Year's is definitely in order. When the announcement came out, and this is the third year that you are a finalist for this year's class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's jump right into it. What does that mean to you?
Oh, man, it means a lot, Jameer. It really does. 8th year of eligibility, third year as a finalist. They say the third time is a charm. So I'm certainly praying on that, fingers crossed. But it means a lot for me and my family, man, and my community of Gibsonville, North Carolina, Raleigh, St. Louis, and now LA. Places that I represent, places that I resonate. To be able to be a finalist representing those areas, it really means a lot. It's very humbling, and very and also just a testament to my journey of football, man. I've had a lot of people help me get to this point, and I always try to make sure that I thank them. I always try to make sure that I know that they know that I am appreciative of of their support in helping me along my journey. So it means a lot, not only for me, but for the folks that help me and for the communities that I represent.
What did it mean to you this past Christmas to sit around and watch the American underdog, Kurt Warner's story with your family, and to relive some of those moments and to see your teammates' journey, and then to see on the big screen you and your guy, Isaac Bruce? And I ain't gonna lie, Marshall, the guy they had to play Marshall Faulk, he looked a little kind of pudgy. He looked
a little thick.
He looked a little thick like me. I was like, wait a minute, that's not, I saw Marshall. I was like, Marshall, man, they had they could have did a little better job on getting somebody a little leaner. But what did that mean to you to watch that and to relive those moments?
No, it was awesome, man. My family and I, we sat here on Christmas and watched the film. My dad was in town, my grandmother was in town, my aunties and everybody, and we just watched the tape and watched the movie, and we learned a lot about Kurt that we didn't know, especially for my family, but a lot I knew about. But his resolve, man, I wrote it down, his resolve, his grind, man, his faith, that showed up through that film. And that's how he carried himself every single day there in St. Louis when we were going through that championship run in our years of playing. And mad respect for Kurt, as well as Brenda and their journey to success. And I'm thankful that I had an opportunity to spend some time and be around Kurt. Incredible man, for sure. And good things happen to good people. And I think he's an example of that. And he's still to this day, because people ask me, is Kurt really like that? Yeah, what you saw that's who he is. He's a man of faith, a good man, respectful man, but he loves his family. And again, that resonated through that film. So I couldn't be more prouder for Kurt, being a teammate of his, being a brother of his, being a friend of his. Certainly happy for him.
So let's talk about Kurt as far as when he walked into that locker room and when he went, with the energy that he brought in that locker room.
Kurt, man, it was a quiet confidence. He wasn't a guy that was braggadocious. He didn't tell you a lot. He wasn't, look at me pounding his chest. His thing was he was so focused on reaching his goal, which was to be a professional athlete and do it at a really high level. To me, that's where his focus was. So it was more of, let my play do the talking for me. Now, he was a leader once, when he stepped inside of the huddle, there was things that he commanded. There was things that had to get across, making sure everybody was doing their assignments. Great leader there, but not a guy that pounded his chest. a guy that mostly let my play do the talking for me. And that was how he went about his business every single day.
Torry, before we dive in and have some fun, first and foremost, I got to ask you about your foundation, you and your brother's foundation. How is that coming along, and how can fans get involved?
Holt Brothers Foundation supports young kids with a parent or guardian that's battling cancer. We are so thrilled, Jameer, to be in our 21st year of the foundation. 21 years, man, we've been in existence, serving various communities, serving the community here in North Carolina, community in St. Louis, for sure. Really thrilled about that, providing peer empathy, education, support to these families with a kid with a parent or guardian that's battling cancer. And the way that you can help us, if you feel in your heart that you want to share your resources, share your time, we look for volunteers, all types of things, ways that you can get involved. Go to HoltBrothersFoundation.org, HoltBrothersFoundation.org to learn more about my brother and I's foundation, Holt Brothers Foundation, supporting young kids with a parent or guardian that's battling cancer. Unfortunately, we lost our mom in 1996 to lymphoma, so we vowed to do something in honor of her name. So 21 years later, we are still impacting the community in a lot of ways.
Well, Torry, let's jump right into and talk about your former team, the LA Rams, and their playoff picture.
Well, I'm excited, man, for the LA Rams. I think this is a football team that has experience. This is football players and coaches that have been in the playoffs. They know what to expect. They were just here last year. Didn't get it done, but they were there last year, so they can build on that experience. So I'm looking forward to them taking that experience into this game and really rallying around each other and playing really good football, as Coach Vermeil would say. And then Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has had an incredible, historical year. You know, you think about all the great wide receivers played in our league. Sterling Sharp was a Triple Crown winner. Jerry Rice is the Triple Crown winner. Steve Smith was the latest Triple Crown winners. So he's an elite company. And I don't know if the Rams are where they are if it wasn't for Cooper Kupp and his production and his consistency week in and week out. To me, that's MVP-like. I don't know if he'll win the MVP. I'm certainly pulling for him. Offensive Player of the Year, he'll have an opportunity, but incredible talent, man.
So, Torry, when you look at a young man like Odell Beckham Jr. coming into play, how do you think his skill set and his talent would help? Because I know there's been, he's coming off the injury, and then, the transition from the Cleveland Browns to LA, and then, there was a little bit of turmoil there, but it seems like he's back on course.
Yeah, it is. I had an opportunity to speak with Odell about a month ago. He and Cooper Kupp both. And one of the first things he said, Torry, I'm excited to be here in Los Angeles with like-minded guys that are hard workers, all about winning and doing the right thing. And that permeates through everybody. Like, it's contagious when you're in that type of culture. And I think Odell has landed himself in the right culture. They're going to do everything they can to get the best out of him. I think he can still run. He can still penetrate the defenses. He can run routes, every route, and he has incredible hands. He, just this year, joined my all-hands team because of his ability to pluck the rock. He has strong, really big hands, but Odell's a phenomenal talent, and I think they'll continue to use him more and use him the right way as they go off into the playoffs. Now, the thing will be, can he step up? And I think he can step up and make those big plays that they'll need from him going down this stretch in the playoffs.
Were you impressed with Matt Stafford, him getting kind of like a fresh start? I hate to say fresh start. I mean, I've always loved Matt Stafford, but just kind of rejuvenated his career in a way.
Yeah, I'm excited for Matt because, again, when you talk about the culture there in Los Angeles with the Rams that Sean McVay and Leslie and that group have built, I thought it was a good fit for Matthew. He's around guys like Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee, Sony Michel, Odell Beckham. You just mentioned Van Jefferson. I can go on and on. Players that want to do the things the right way, players that want to improve at their position. So I thought it was an excellent fit. Only thing I would say with Matthew Stafford is cut down on the turnovers, bruh. Stop turning it over. But he is an incredible talent, one of the best pocket passers that we have in the National Football League. And this too, Jameer, if you get down in games, you never have to worry because he is the fourth quarter comeback king. So really excited for Matthew Stafford and the opportunity that's ahead of him to go into the playoffs and get an opportunity to win some games and hopefully take this team to the Super Bowl.
I know you talked about Cooper, but when you look at this receiving core, is there some, reminisce of yourself and Isaac Bruce when you see that unit?
Yeah, the for one, the type of plays, schemes that they do schematically reminds me of some of the things that we did. The speed sometimes in which they play. Cooper Kupp, his run after the catch ability, his route running ability, as well as Odell and Van, reminds me of some of the things that we did with the greatest show on turf. But it's hard to make that a comparison because we did something that had never been done before in the National Football League. We were the most potent offense in league history. And those guys, though they're good, they still got a ways to go. But I do see some similarities at time, again, particularly with the route running and run after the catch. And then just the unbelievable work ethic that this receiver core has.
And defensively, led by defensive lineman Aaron Donald, how exciting for this group to see them get after the passer.
When I think of Aaron Donald, I put my hand. I just think of muscle and grit and grind and just persistence. Aaron Donald is the leader in that clubhouse. He's the leader in that organization, and to me, it all starts with him. Tremendous work ethic, right? Tremendous work ethic. Sometimes they have to run him out of the gym. He works so hard. He's incredible in the community. He gives back. He's got a big heart. Loves his kids. Loves his family. Loves his teammates. The epitome of a professional athlete in the National Football League. He represents the National Football League to the highest degree. And I'm glad he is a Ram. Now, for the opposing teams, good luck, because he wrecks shop. But Aaron Donald, I think the world of him. He's incredible. His career's been phenomenal. A true Ram through and through. And again, I am happy that he is a part of the LA Rams organization.
And how impressed were you with the way the NFL completed a 17-week season, a full season, and stadiums full of fans?
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. It was amazing. Hats off to everyone associated with the National Football League to get the players through the season. Hats off to the players for doing what they're supposed to do, taking care of their business to get through the season. If you think about Week 18, the final game of the year, it was one of the best finales I ever seen and been associated with the league. I mean, it was incredible. The games were great, and to be able to fight through this pandemic and to get to that point, I tip my hat, man, because it takes everybody, right? It takes everybody to communicate, to do the right thing, and I thought our league was a great example. For not only for sports, but for everyone in the nation. Okay, if you do things the right way, if you take care of yourself, make sure the protocols and all that stuff are held up, good things can happen. And I thought our league did a heck of a job this year.
Could you imagine going through the whole COVID protocol and playing under those protocol and procedures? And then not only that, playing in a stadium with no fans?
Yeah, that would be tough, man, because the fans give us so much,
right?
Their energy, cheering, booing, laughing, celebrating, high-fiving. We feed off of that. So when they didn't have that in the arena, it was tough for guys. But again, to the credit of the players, because they are true professionals, they were able to get through that and was still able to put out a really good product last year. And then when the fans came back into the arena this year, you can see the level of play just go to a whole nother level. You saw the ratings go to a whole nother level. And that's largely because of our great fans. And our players, trust me, current and former players appreciate our NFL fan community. The best in the business, man. NFL football is the best in all of sports, and largely because of our great fans.
Yeah, I couldn't picture you guys going through that because you guys probably had 5, 7, 10,000 people at a practice during training camp cheering you guys on.
Yeah, practices, and you know what? And that was the thing that I loved about training camp practices, and they were tough. There was dog days, but when you walk through that gate and then you saw all of those 10, 15,000 of fans, you're like, okay, they're here to see us. They're here to see me work. Let's go. Let me get out of my feelings and let me go out here and perform, because the fans are here. They want to see you, working at your craft. So it's important that I was available, we were available, and then that we went out and we did what we needed to do to make sure that the fans were at peace.
Torry, this past year, unfortunately, and God rest his soul, the NFL lost a giant in John Madden. If we could just, yes, I see where you're going with this. And if you could just talk about what he meant to the game of football. Oh, wow.
This right here says it, man. Look, if you got an all Madden anything as a player, it was the best because everyone loved and respected Coach Madden and what he brought to the game. He was a hell of a coach, Super Bowl winning coach. He was an excellent broadcaster. I had an opportunity to spend a little time with Coach Madden, and I asked him, I said, what's the key? What are some things or tips that you would give me as a future broadcaster, someone in radio or in TV? He said, Torry, and I wrote it down. He said, be yourself. Talk football, because that's what you did. That's what you do. And you know a lot about the game. So you can explain it better than anybody. So be yourself and talk the game of football. So I appreciated that from Coach Madden. And then as I mentioned, the All Madden team, everybody wanted to be a part of the team, All Madden team. The Pro Bowl was great, right? All Pro is awesome, no question. But if you made the All Madden team, there was a sense of pride, a sense of toughness that came with being on the All Madden team. So no, tons of respect for Coach Madden and what he brought and what he contributed to the game of football. Nothing but love and respect.
Were you happy with your Madden ratings? Because I was doing some research. Man, 2005, you had a 100 overall rating. I mean, and I watched it from 2002 to 2003, and it just went up. It went 89, 92, and then all of a sudden, look, in 2005, you had 100 overall rating.
Yeah, I was extremely happy. And to your point, it got better each year. And that's what it's all about. You want to improve each year for your team or even for Madden. And I was able to do that. So yes, to answer the question, I was extremely happy with the ratings on the Madden team, on the Madden game. And the fact that I was on the Madden game, it itself says it all, man. It goes back again to being part of the All Madden team, being on the video game, and having John Madden broadcast your games and talk about you during the telecast, man, was the best. So certainly pleased with the ratings on the All Madden team, on the All Madden game.
Hey, Torry, I got to ask you this. When you were in the locker room and the game came out and guys were looking at their ratings, and I know you were like, I'm good, but was there like hurt feelings? Like, man, I can't believe he made it 89 or 85. You're like, I got 100.
I got 100. Yeah, man, because again, guys that played the game cared about their ratings. Even current guys now that play, they care about their ratings. They want the highest of ratings, man, because again, it just it signifies your dominance, and it signifies how John Madden thought about you as a player, more importantly. So everybody cared about it. But yeah, I didn't have to worry about it, man. I was good. I was 100. So I was straight.
Wow. Guys, we are so happy to be joined by Torry Holt, Super Bowl 34 champion. And now we're going to jump in and talk about some top 5 football moments. I cannot let you go without getting some top 5 lists here. So I want to jump in and talk about your top 5 football moments.
Oh, wow. Top 5 football moments. College and pros or just pros?
Hey, man, college, pros, whatever you give us.
Wow. Top 5 moments. Well, I'll start with one in college, beating Florida State at Carter Finley. Sea of Red was unbelievable. They were the number 3 team coming in, number 2 and number 3 team coming into Carter Finley. My senior year, we were able to knock them off. That's one. 2, man, Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 34, winning Super Bowl 30 as a rookie.
That's what I'm about to say, because that was 1999 when you came in. You see it right there. You see it right there, 99 first round.
Right.
Round. Okay. You see it.
I see that. I didn't even
got you. We got you, Torry.
I like it. I didn't even notice that. The Super Bowl was incredible. Oh, being picked 6 overall in the 1999 draft selection, 6 overall. That was huge. Super Bowl 36, getting back to Super Bowl 36. Now, we didn't win Super Bowl 36. I didn't want to bring that up, but playing in another Super Bowl. And then my first Pro Bowl. That was my top 5. My first Pro Bowl. Unbelievable to walk in the room. to walk in the locker room. There's Chris Carter, you know, there's all these greats that I respected, admired, you know, the way that they play the game. And now here I am sitting in the locker room with them at the Pro Bowl. Unbelievable experience. Those are my top 5.
That's great. All right, let's talk about your top 5 toughest opponents.
Ooh, man. Yeah. I mean, we could spend hours on that because everybody was tough. But I would say Otis Smith was one.
Oh, okay. Otis.
Otis.
Otis. Yeah.
Otis was tough.
Now he was with the Patriots at the time, or
he was with the Patriots at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and playing against Otis, and I was a young boy. I was still a young boy. So playing against Otis, you really had to think, and you really had to play fast, and you had to be smart and aggressive in the way that you approach the game, because Otis was just so talented. So Otis Smith was one. Champ Bailey is another. Dre Bly is also one that comes to mind. 3. That's 3 there. Trying to think of who else. I played against Darrell Green late in his career, and Darrell was still nice. The thing that impressed me about Darrell Green, so we're in Washington and we're getting ready to play the Redskins, and you know everybody goes out to warm up and get themselves ready. When Darrell comes out, he's running 100-yard sprints. I mean, I was like, I got to get ready to play against this dude. Is he going to have enough energy? And he came out there, man. He had just as much energy as anybody on the field, and he was older than everybody. So Darrell Green, and then lastly, I would say Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams, also a guy, reminds me a lot of how Darrell Green approached the game. Aeneas would get to practice early, sprint, warm up, get his back pedals in, do all the things that he needed to do to get ready for practice, and then he would go out and practice, and he would challenge your butt for an entire 2 hours. So those, I would say, are some of my top 5 guys that I had an opportunity to go against.
That's amazing. And the last one on the top 5 list, I have to get your top 5 favorite players that you watched growing up.
Ooh, yes. Tony Dorsett, Art Monk, Walter Payton, Dan Marino, and I'm leaving Jerry Rice. Top 5 guys, man, I had an opportunity to watch. You talking about the highest of levels, Hall of Fame players in throughout their careers. Certainly made an impression on me as a young guy that loved watching football. And I tried to take something from each one of those guys' game and apply it to mine. So those are my top 5 guys.
I got to ask you about Jerry Rice. What did you take away from him? Because you see like how guys would work out with him during the offseason. They would run those hills. Did you take a piece of that, you know, from his toolbox and add it into yours? Or what was your hill that you would run during the offseason?
The number one thing that I took from Jerry Rice, and I love this about Jerry, and I love it about Jerry still to this day. I was with him at the Rich Eisen St. Jude's run. Jerry's work ethic was impeccable. I said, if I can work half as hard as Jerry Rice, I'll have a heck of a career. Jerry Rice's work ethic rubbed off on me, and he ran those hills. And when I was at University at NC State, we had hills at the stadium and where we played. And I would go over to the stadium in the off season, myself and teammates, and we would run those hills. I would run the stadium steps, emulating the great Jerry Rice. I saw Jerry do it. He played the wide receiver position. He played it at the highest of level. He ran routes, run after the catch. He caught the football, made plays in big moments. And a lot of that had to do with the way he trained and the way that he worked. And he was also, when he was growing up, he laid bricks. I poured tobacco. So Jerry had strong hands from laying bricks. I had strong hands from pulling tobacco. I don't know if you ever pulled tobacco before, Jameer.
One summer, my family, Danville, Virginia, and we had to go down to Camp Grove and pull tobacco. Yes, I learned. And until that juice got in my eye, I was done. I was 14 years old, city kid, Long Island kid, going out to the South, pulling tobacco. My dad was going to teach me, and that juice spread in my eye. I was done.
Burned.
I was done.
It is some of the hardest, realest work that you can do. And I did it early, so I got an appreciation for work, and I was able to develop a really strong work ethic But Jerry Rice's tutelage, his example, also played a role in that.
Wow, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. And Torry, before we let you go, you know, you and I spoke once before, and when I asked you that, it was the second question I asked you. Do you feel you left everything out on the field? And when I look at right now in NFL history, 24th in TD receptions, 12th in receptions, 5th in receiving yards, you know, to get the notice, what would it mean to you, your family, the legacy that, you know what, you are a member of this year's class? What would that mean?
Man, it would mean the world, man. And I think more about my mom, who passed away in 1996, who did everything she could for us to see that we played athletics, had fun, went to school to get our education. My dad, who's still around, my grandmother. I want them to be able to see such an incredible moment if I hear my name called for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They sacrificed so much. My community, as I mentioned, Gibsonville, North Carolina, being the first, and there's a first for everything. I'll be the first person from Gibsonville, North Carolina, to don the halls. That's humbling, man, and it's so rewarding. And we all came into this game wanting to get something out of the game, leave the game better than what it was, to win championships, divisional championships. I did all of that. Being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame will be the greatest of validation for my football journey. It's the hall saying, Torry, we appreciate your contribution to this beautiful game. And I will say to the hall, thank you very much. I did it with all my heart, all sincerity, passion, and love for the game of football. Thank you very much. So it would mean the world to me, Jameer, myself, as well as my family and my community.
The pride of North Carolina State, guys. Thank you so much. Mr. Torry Holt joining us right here on The Mission.